Yeah, well, Solos is a fantastic club. I think we've been speaking to Doug, and they're quite progressive, and they were relatively early to cancel the nationals. I think they realised it was impractical, but that doesn't mean we can't do something this summer. We've had it before when there was sailing was in a distant future. People were doing e-sailing and chatting together over Zoom, so we kept together. You know, people from the clubs and classes still socialised and still raced, albeit in front of a computer.
Yeah, so you mentioned sort of apps and things like that. We're starting to see them emerging into the sort of emphasis of it.
Lockdown happened now rather than 20 years ago. We'd all be playing with our Nokia, whatever it was.
Yeah, so I think this is the sort of the era of the technology, isn't it? So we are pleased to announce, we were hoping that Doug Latter, the chairman of the Solo class, will join us, but I just had a message that he's still busy at work, but we'll catch up.
Joys of Zoom as well.
But we've been working, so they cancelled the 2020 National Champions, which was going to be at East Lothian and lovely Scotland, so that won't be happening.
It's always sad, but it's a good decision, and I think the classes which made their decision early, you know, that their members will be very happy for them, because that way they know what's going on. If you look internationally, New Zealand, publicity for that country's been very positive, and I think the Solos have really grasped the horn.
Right, so we have a new event, the 2020 Solo National Club Regatta. So this is really pushing the boundaries here. Basically, it will happen at nationwide locations, so you'll elect to sail at your own club, and I think that will be a good thing, bringing in all the local sort of elements. And clubs will sort of sign up to run their own events, a bit like Bart's Bash, so they'll be sort of part of that.
And really maximum social distancing. If you look at the furthest 2 point for solo sailors, that's got to be hundreds of miles. So with everybody spread out, it does make it a lot easier, because there's certain points, like when you launch, or probably more likely when you recover, it is harder to keep that separation.
Yeah, that's right. So it'll be clusters of, say, 10, 15 solos sailing at their own club. The class have been very excited by this. They're actually talking about getting 300 plus solos out, which will be fantastic.
Well, potentially you'll get a far bigger entry than you would at the Nationals, because I think logistics, and that will make it harder for people to do one big event. Whereas here, hopefully, by this date, all the clubs will be back open.
That's right, and I think, as you said before, it encouraged some sort of local activity and so forth. So 19th of July, put that one in the diary. We booked John to do some online commentary and coaching. You may be out.
So we have normal media.
Media.
Possibly more media than usual.
More media. So this will be brought together with Facebook Live. So we'll basically be able to take the tracking feeds off all the separate club events, bring them together, have an ongoing leaderboard, things like top speed, leg times. Each club will set its own course, and they'll have an app to go out there and ping that, so there'll be flexibility in them being able to set their own sort of, so if they've only got a small lake, they'll have a smaller cape, coastal clubs will have a bigger one, and then John will bring it all together in the sort of Facebook sort of live sort of session. Making use of
it brings all the solos together, as it were, in one point of time, even if they're not actually physically together.
Yes, that's right. And we'll be making use of technology. So you're like the Selden Selgers Winter Series, you'll enter online, you'll elect to which club that you're going. If your club's not there, you'll still be able to go out and compete. So we'll be looking for clubs to sort of sign up in the next few weeks to say they want to organise a race, and we'll be working with them. We've got James Ripley, who's one of the RWA National Race Officers, who will be acting as our event PRO. Doug Latter, the class chairman, will be the event director. We even have things like an online protest committee emerging, so you'll submit your online protest via Zoom, so no physical contact here. again, making...
I've got something from Doug, because unfortunately, bless him, he's not going to make it home. But he just wanted to say that he's super excited that the Sailor class are able to demonstrate their commitment to grassroots sailing, and they're doing everything in their power to support the club sailors, and they're looking forward to being part of the ongoing team. And I think they're going to lead the way for other classes.
Well, that's right, and we already have interest. The K1s, for example, are looking to do their little event in September, and the D0s. So if other classes are interesting, there's scope to do it. And I think the feeling is this actually could become a regular feature, even when the real national championships come back.
I think there's definitely something about using apps so that you can do more sailing from home. And I think that's one of the things which is always difficult, to get enough volunteers in one particular place. And I never realised until recently just how much driving around I do to go to events almost every weekend in the UK. And then goodness knows how many air miles with the international circuit. It's actually been quite nice to spend a bit of time at home. And I think one of the really nice things which has come out of this is families sailing together. Because sailing, it really is, it's a sport for all the family.
Yeah, so I think this could become a nice little feature. I'm not sure if these bits are going to come through. So there'll also be an online prize giving. I think we've got some sponsorship from North Sail and Magic Marine, so I expect some good prizes there. And they will be awarded virtually online, but I presume that they will be sent their goodies and their vouchers, but we will do some interviews online. And we're also planning to hook up with the sailors during the race sessions, again by their mobile phones. So chance for them to give us almost their briefing of the events, show us what's happening in their neck of woods. And then John will be looking to interview them afterwards. We'll have all their data, so we'll know how fast they did, and a sort of provisional ranking. We'll try and join it together. So we'll be looking to hook them up remotely, bring them in, and share all the action. And finally, we're going to have a good drink in the virtual clubhouse. So we will all meet together in Zoom and share a drink or so after the event, and again chance to do the barroom talk and so forth. So I think
going off topic, I think the socialising by Zoom has been great. I've been drinking with my university friends from Loughborough pretty much every Friday night, sometimes to 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's brought me back to being 20 again. And it's been fantastic because of the geography. It's been really hard to see people in real life, and I think for people's mental health, the socialising is a very important part, and that's definitely true for sailing. Like the social part of the sailing is such a big thing.
Yes, and really, thank heavens for Zoom and Skype and Microsoft Teams. It would be a very lonely world out there, wouldn't it? And I think we need to get back to that as soon as possible.